Alright, so this is a review of the SE Electronics ProMic Laser. I've had the microphone for a couple of weeks and, well, maybe a month now, and I've used it for sort of some different shooting around the house. I use it mostly for family videos. I'm not a professional videographer or anything like that. This is my first external microphone. I've never really done serious sound consideration on any of my home videos before, but especially once I started trying to do a video with my DSLR, I realized, like probably everyone watching this review, that DSLR video just stinks. So if your first question or your main question is, do I really need to spend the money? Is it worth the effort or whatever to set up audio and try to do separate recordings or just built-in recordings with an external microphone? I would say the answer is going to be yes, because if you've watching this, then that means you probably noticed that your audio stinks on your DSLR, and you would probably appreciate any kind of improvement in quality, especially what comes from having a decent external microphone. So as you might have guessed, I'm recording this video with my SE Electronics ProMic Laser. It's about 5 or 6 feet away from me right now. It's fairly directional. I'll give you some examples of what happens when you move off axis in a minute here, and I'm going to give you some examples on what the internal microphone sounds like on my camcorder and on a DSLR from the same position. So let me switch real quick to the camcorder's mic so you can see what it is it sounds like, and I'll give you a little look at what the microphone itself looks like from a hands-on perspective. Alright, so now I've switched over to the camcorder's internal microphone, and I'll give you a little look at what the actual laser looks like. So this is the microphone, and I'll give you a little bit of close-ups here in a minute. So it comes with this shock mount. I find it's easiest to slide it out of the shock mount than to try to snap it out. The rubber bands in there provide that little suspension, and they seem like they're pretty tough holding it in. I certainly haven't had any fall out or come apart. Like, I know that some people complain that some of the other microphones suspension units do, where they lose the rubber bands, like on the Rode mic. This one I haven't had any problems with that. It has some little hooks even on the side here for this little wire that you use to connect it to your camcorder, which was kind of a nice little thing for cord control. I thought that was a nice detail. It has a little shoe on the bottom. You slide it into your shoe on your camera or camcorder, and then a little dial to tighten it down. And then on the bottom it has a little tripod screw mount as well. It is a British microphone, and so the screw mount is 3/8 of an inch instead of 1/4, but you can get the adapters pretty easy off of anywhere, eBay or something like that. They're really cheap. Or if you want, you can buy the actual little double-sided adapter that goes into a threaded mount too. So the mic itself is made out of aluminum. It's fairly compact as far as diameter, but it's much longer than the other microphones that you'll see for camcorders and DSLRs in the normal consumer range. The Shure mic and the Rode mic, VideoMic Pro and things like that seem to be the most popular models. I know that there's a Sennheiser or something as well that are popular. I saw this mic in the B&H video where they gave some sample audio, and it had those other microphones in it as well, and I thought that this one sounded as good or better than what you saw in some of the other ones. So for less money, I thought, let's try it out, even though it's a lesser known brand. It has, I'll go to a close-up here. Alright, so this is a little bit of a close-up on it here. Alright, so on the mic we have a 3-way switch here. This I didn't quite get at first. So it has off position, on position, and then a second, I guess, whatever you want to call it, a second on position, a third position, and this is for the low pass filter. So that's like if you're out in the wind or whatever, which I haven't actually found that I needed to use. I did use it when it was really windy, and with the foam windscreen that comes with it, and it worked pretty well. I was originally planning on getting one of the fuzzy windscreens, and they don't really make one that is this narrow that I could find, which is kind of a drag. The ones that have the foam built into the microphone or into the cover are the ones that seem to work a lot better, and this diameter for this mic is a little bit narrower than some of the other microphones I guess out there, because I didn't see anyone that had this narrow dimension that it was made to slip onto. But I was really happy with the foam mic. I may just have to modify it or make my own if I want a fuzzy windscreen. That was one thing I was a little disappointed, because I saw in the package that there was supposed to be a fuzzy windscreen called a Wookiee that they were going to make for this. They decided evidently not to make it. I contacted the manufacturer on that, and they confirmed that they're not making that. So the second switch on here is a pad filter. It just means it makes it quieter. So the default for this mic is a louder setting, which is certainly more useful in my opinion than trying to ramp up the gain on your camera when you're setting it up. So you get all this with it. Here's a little bit of look at the mount. A little bit of a look at the mount. You can see it has the rubber bands to hold it in place, and it works like a little suspension on here to isolate it from the vibration of handling your camera or whatever if you're shooting by hand. I use it indoors like this with no windscreen on it at all. Seems to work great. I put the windscreen on when I go to the beach or whatever. That seems to work great as well. It comes with a little spring coiled cord here as well. It comes with a little spring coiled cord so that you can hook it up to whatever you're using. I guess I'll just give you, so it snaps in and then slides out. I showed you that. And then I'll get to a little example. That's probably what you want to see to give a comparison to what you might be getting with your built-in mics. Alright, I had to redo this, but this is a example of the sound from a DSLR, my Nikon D5100. This is obviously a much lower quality sound. I'm sure you can hear, but I'm going to get up here and show you at 45 degrees. This is 45 degrees to the camera, and this is at 90 degrees to the camera, and then back to 45 and to 90, and then we'll show you the camcorder's internal microphone. Alright, and now I'm at same distance with the camcorder at the front of the camera. This is the built-in mic on the camcorder. I'm going to go the other way here. This is about 45 degrees to the built-in mic on the camcorder. And this is at 90 degrees to the built-in mic on the camcorder. So you have that, and then we'll go to... Alright, and here we are again, but this is the ProMic Laser up at the front of the camera. Now if I move off, I'm at 45 degrees to the camera. And now I'm moved over to 90 degrees to the camera. So that gives you kind of an idea of the focus of the sound. It's not like a zoom lens where you're going to be able to reach out and grab audio from 35 feet away or something. That's not how they work. It's definitely going to focus on what's ahead of the camera with the shotgun style mic, and you can get certainly a better signal. One thing that's going on between these shots with different mic sources is so like when I go to the camcorder, I have to adjust the gain on the camcorder way up, because the shotgun mic is able to reach out and pick me up much better, so I can leave it about in the middle range. That gives you less noise if you use less gain in the camera. Whereas when I switch to the internal mic that's built into the camera, I have to turn the gain way up, all the way to the top, or maybe one notch from the top, to get what I think is a good level for just being 5 or 6 feet away. So, can it pick up sound further away? Yes. But you're not going to get like an amazing, like your mic to the person that's 25 feet away. That's not how it's going to work. But I tell you that the sound improvement is massive from my perspective, and one of the big benefits is that focus. So, when I first got this camcorder, I didn't have an adapter yet for the mount for my mic, and so I was using the built-in mic, and I was getting all this stuff like other people in the room compared to what I was trying to get focused on. I was picking up audio. It was like other people in the room off to the side were louder than the people that I was trying to focus on, so it really kind of ruined my shots, and I couldn't use the audio very much. I had to just cut everything down and put music over the top of it because it was useless. So just as a quick review, you've seen the quality of the different audios that are available, at least to me. It's definitely something that gives you a big improvement in focus on your subject for sound, and you can actually take the mic off the camera and move it in close to someone too as well, if you want to get even better sound. But this works great for me. I'm able to get a strong focused audio signal on what I want to get focused on and kind of eliminate everything else. And it's pretty easy to use. The only complaints I really have for it is that like I saw another reviewer say, it doesn't have a battery LED light, which is kind of a drag. It does take a battery, if you didn't know that. So when it gets low, you really just have to be watching your audio meters, or else if you're hopefully using a camera that has a headphone jack, so you can listen to your headphones and hear the audio that you're getting while you're taking video, then you know you're getting sound and you didn't forget to turn it on, which I've done a couple of times. But man, once you get used to using it and you get consistent with getting your levels right and remembering to use it, then boy, the improvement is dramatic for me. I really am getting a lot more enjoyment out of editing the videos because I have more useful footage. So that's more an advertisement for getting a microphone extra for your camera in general. But for this mic in particular, I like the sound. I feel like based on the form factor, because it's longer than some of the other mics that you get on DSLRs, it's probably doing a better job at focusing the sound and rejecting the outside sound. At least that was my experience with what I saw in that B&H video that I mentioned earlier, where they used several of these popular microphones in their sort of comparison that they did there. I really liked the way that this didn't seem to pick up that echoey hallway studio sound, whatever you want to call it, compared to some of those other microphones. And I find that I still get echoey sound a little bit in the wrong rooms if they're empty, if they're tough situations. But if you're anywhere that's decent, if you're anywhere that has, outdoors, is like amazing. It's so much better. So I can't say enough about, getting that external mic, doing a little bit of extra work to get a lot better sound out of the videos you're taking, because a lot of them, like for me, I'm only doing home videos. So for me, those are the memories that I want to keep forever. And if I get lousy sound, then I'm not going to keep them forever. I'm going to delete them because they become useless. Nobody wants to ever go back and watch those. So thanks for watching this, and I definitely give a thumbs up and recommend this mic. With the only concern is that LED battery light, or, well, small thing, the fact that it's a little bit long. If you have a real small camera bag and you like to travel real small, that can make it a little bit tricky. You might have to put it in a side pocket or something else. It barely fits inside the horizontal direction along the top of my camera bag. So if you're trying to travel real small, it's a little problematic too. But I think that design is sort of makes it a hindrance, but also makes it work better. So I can't complain too much about that. Thanks for watching, and hope you enjoy your next camera project if you get an extra mic.